welcome back to the Widebody Performance Engineering YouTube channel. Today we're going to switch things up because we've been working on the spoiler, we've been working on the fender flares, and yeah, I'm just tired of working on them. So let's take a break for a day and we'll come over here and we'll see if we can't make some progress on the nose. I've been kind of procrastinating because I haven't thought of what direction I was going to go yet. And so what I did was I'm trying to pin this outer shell, which you can see is just flimsy, to the fenders here on the sides, but I want to make it so it's removable like the other one is. So if you see here on the side, there's these pins here that the nose lines up on, and there's 3 on the bottom that go the other direction. So right now the headlight assembly here in the back is what supports it, this heavier plastic piece, and I want to eliminate that because it's heavy, get rid of that weight. So I made a aluminum plate that just goes right here that supports this edge. So what I did was I clamped it on there lined up on the driver's side, and I put some epoxy on the back to hold it to the shell. So hopefully I can come back and glue this outer part to the aluminum as well, and then I'll do the bottom side, and then I think I'll run a support that goes straight down all the way to the chin spoiler and supports it, and basically makes that whole piece just one straight across, and then we can worry about bracing it around the front to the other side with aluminum, and we'll just keep it as light as possible. That's the goal. And then obviously we'll make it as aerodynamic as possible also. So yeah, what I'm going to do right now is, like I said, I already did the driver's side. I already epoxied the plate in, so that's just drying. So this one I just need to line it up, lock it down with some C-clamps and some vice grips, and we'll start working on the nose. Stay tuned. All right, try to get you in a position where you can see what I'm doing, but here you can see that plate I was talking about that supports this outer edge, and it's got the 3 pins going into the steel fender here for alignment. And then there'll be the, oh, I guess you can't see it, there'll be the latch up top here that holds it against the front of the car once it's installed. And then, like I said, normally this is what supports everything, is this hard plastic piece that goes all the way across the front, and it holds the headlights, and it has the studs that go into the fenders that usually just have nuts on the backside because it's not removable, it's permanent, and it has big holes so you can line it up. I'll show you once I get it fabbed up and take it off. So yeah, so this one's, the plate's already in here. I had put it in there before I put the nose on because it wouldn't fit. You couldn't get it in there. So now I'm gonna go and I'm gonna put a clamp on it right in the middle here. I'm just gonna clamp it to the car's fender, and I'm gonna line it up the best I can on the outer edge here. So I'm not gonna go too tight. It needs to come out just a little bit here, out and down. Let me see if I can tighten it right there. Alright, that doesn't look bad at all. Alright, can you guys see? Let's come up a little bit. There we go, that's better. So yeah, you can see this edge. There's a little bit of a dip there. That's just because the plastic is sagging. But for the most part, I got it lined up. Make sure it's locked down. Now the screws that are holding the pins on, I'm going to tighten those down to make sure the pins are locked into the plate now. That one tightened up. The top one. Tight. Trying to see where it's at. used a lock washer on the heads, and it's getting me lucky enough that they're tightening down without having to hold the studs on the backside. So anyway, yeah, that looks pretty good. The only thing I do want to do is add another clamp up here. So let me grab another small C-clamp, and I gotta remember how I got it in there on the other side. Because if I remember correctly, it was not easy. I had to do like a contortion thing here. Oh, I may have cut more out on the other side too. I got it where I want it. Now I just need to reach in there and tighten the clamp. And it's not very easy to get to. Okay, hold on. That's not. All right, so I ended up grabbing a giant vice grip. If I can get it inside there. Actually worked good. All right, so bump the camera. Make sure we're lined up good, which I am pretty happy with that. So now I can go in there and put some epoxy back in the very corners here, right there in the my big old hands in the way. Right back here in this edge, I'll put epoxy, and that'll hold the plate in position so I can take the nose off and epoxy behind that back edge and clamp it. So yeah, let's get it to that point because I want to get it off and do that. Let me mix up some epoxy. I'll stick it in there. All right, so I got the camera real nice close up in there. The problem is my hand's gonna be in the way, but at least you'll get to see the end product as I do it. So yeah, I'm just kind of squishing it in the corner there, just to stick the aluminum into the plastic for now. And I might go back once the nose is off and fill in the rest. And I just kind of want to at least 3-point it here, which means get it low, get it high, and then get it in the middle, which I already got the middle, so get the bottom here. I'm gonna squish it more into the corner. It's hard to, I have to picture what I'm doing in my mind because I can't see because you guys are blocking the view. Let's go back and look. Yeah, so that looks all right. I just want to squish a little more into the aluminum. All right, now the fun one is going to be this corner up in the top here. If I can even get it up in there without dropping it. Oh, what am I doing? So yeah, the vice grips are occupying the same space my hand needs to be in at the moment. I almost got it up in there. There, I finally got it to stick up inside there. I just gotta make sure I don't get it near the bolt for the pin. And just kind of squish it in. So yeah, now we're held up top here, up in the top there, and the side in the middle. So So I got the car up in the air now, so you can see what I'm talking about. Here's the 3 pins on the bottom, and then up there is the plate with the 3 pins going the other direction, and that's where I just glued it into place. And now I can take the clamps off because the epoxy is set. Oh, I didn't even come close to catching that. I tried. The other one I cannot reach. I'm going to go ahead and lower the car down. All right, so I'm going to remove the clamp on the passenger side. That one's out. Now I got to get the vice grips. All right, that side's unclamped. I got to lower the car down and get this side. All right. I have to do this one from the back side. The fender's got like a lip on it, so I have to really loosen it a lot to get it over the lip. There we go. All right, free at last. Let's see if we can't slide the nose off now, because I don't know where that stands. All right, now that the epoxy is set on the side plates, I'm going to go ahead and try to slide the nose off. Got the clamps off. Right now, I think it gets stuck on the plastic here. I need to waller the bumper out a little bit. Yeah, because once you get it past there, it gets easy. So now it just comes right off. That's what I want. Oh. Okay. So I got these plates fit nice so that they slide on and off. That's the driver and the passenger. You guys can see the front of the car right now. The bottom cooler here is for my oil. The top cooler is for the power steering. This is the bar in the middle here that the nose mounts to, and I cross braced it just to give it some more rigidity up here in the nose. Next thing I'm going to do. All right, so I got the nose upside down on the bench here, and you can see this is where these plates will mount. So it goes on the back side here, and you can kind of see right there that my where I marked the holes that need to be lined up. They're off quite a bit, so this and the passenger side. So yeah, I'm gonna grab the whizzer, and we'll open those holes up just a scotch. All right, so here I got the die grinder with just a burr in there, and I'm gonna just open those holes up where I marked them. So. What do I do with the plate? There it is. So I'm not worried about it being too thin here, because remember, this is going to get epoxy to the back of the plate here. But let's see if we're close. We're pretty getting there. Just a little more here and a little more there. So I'm not worried about these holes being too big, because the aluminum is where the pins are gonna be holding on to. So I'm even gonna clean this one up. All right, let's see how we look now. I think that'll work. All right. Got to go do the passenger side now. See how it looks real quick. Gotta get her in the right orientation. So, all right. Take another look. That one looks good. This one needs to go down just like that one did a lot. Yeah, I figured we'd need a little bit more on that one. All right. I think that'll probably do it. Okay. Hopefully we got plenty of clearance. So you guys can't hear it, but the air compressor kicked on just in time. All right, so now I'm going to take the nose and I'm going to remount it on the car. All right, got everything trimmed up. Hopefully it'll line up now. See if we can't get the nose on. Not quite as ideal, as smooth as I want it to be, but we're still adjusting, so make sure this is lined up over here. Make sure this is lined up, which it was not. See how floppy this nose still is? It still doesn't want to line up the way it should. All right, it's back on there. It's looking better. All right, we need to figure out how to brace that to hold it. I mean, obviously the clamp will be there to hold that tight. So, all right, let me raise it up so we can look at the plate fitment on the backside. Okay, so the car is back up in the air. You can see the plate here. It fits nice. Like I said, that'll get glued to this, and that'll help support this edge and keep it lined up. The one thing is, it's still not lined up right there. I need to open up this hole here just a little bit more. And then the passenger side seems to be just right. So, but in the meantime, I want to pull the nose off and glue the back side of the top ones. So I'm going to take it back off and put it on the bench and glue the top rails around and make sure that they're locked in before we mount it back up here, and then glue these bottom plates on. And then we should have the side rigid enough to move on to the top structure. Okay, so got the nose up here on the bench, and now we're gonna epoxy this edge to the aluminum plates. Just gonna shove some epoxy back inside there, and then we'll just clamp it with a variety of clamps, and hopefully that'll get it on there real nice. So I'm gonna use another type of JB Weld. This is probably the same epoxy as the putty stuff. It's just in a liquid form, so I can squish it together. It's just 2 parts come out. How much do we need? We'll go that much. Put the cap back on. Reusable. Got me a mixing spoon, which is just a popsicle stick. Make sure she mixes good. All right. I guess we'll start with this side over here. I'm going to put a little bit behind each one of these. I don't have to waste too much. All right. Moving on. Put a little bit back here. All right, let's clamp that. All right, I got a clamp for that tip too. I had all my clamps pre-staged because I know this. I don't know how long this stuff lets you work with it. So smear a bunch in there. Put this clamp on. All right. All right, that side's good. I don't have a ton left, but let's see how we can at least get the bottom one here. All right. Put that clamp on. Is it the one? It's a small one. All right, how much we got left? Not enough to finish, but we can at least do these 2 little guys right here. All right, let me I got another piece of cardboard, so we can just go ahead and mix up a little bit more and finish that. We just don't need as much this time. That should do it. All right. trying to goop as much in there as I can. Trying not to get it on my fingers either. All right. All right, and then that one more right, the big one that reaches across. It'll fit. Yeah, I'll get the little nub there. All right. Okay, everything's glued. We'll let it set, and then we can put the nose back on the car and glue the lower, or get everything lined up and see about gluing the lower plates. All right, stay tuned. So the epoxy has finally set, and I was able to remove the clamps, and yeah, she's pretty much on there. That's a good thing. So I haven't taken this one off yet. And one more. Oh, wrong way. All right, yeah. I think that'll work. So that's as far as I'm going to get for now, because the car is not on the lift anymore. I had to take it off because I'm working on something else over there. So it'll be another week or so before we get back to work. And you saw we had the plates fitted, so we'll be able to stick the nose back on the car and then glue those on. But it'll be, I'm not doing it on the ground, so we're gonna have to wait till the car goes back on the lift. All right, well, once again, thanks for hanging out and watching another video, and please like and subscribe, and we'll see you again on Sunday. Thanks.